Hello all and welcome to Cloudy ML. So in this video we will be discussing a case study for Excel, and this is the data set which I have got for Excel case study. I have got this from Kaggle, and this data set name is My Uber Drives 2016. So here you have a start date column and date column. This is a date time format. So actually what we are going to do in this video is we are going to analyze this data set about Uber drives for some cities like Fort Pierce, Cary, Jamaica, all these cities. So this data set has been taken from there, and the start date and end date are in the form of date time. So at what time the trip started, which is 21 11, which is 9 11 p.m., and it lasted up to 9:17 p.m. in the night. Similarly, you have one trip starting with 1:25 a.m. in the morning till 1:37 a.m. in the morning. So what is the length of this data set if you want to check? So you can actually go down to see that the data set length is 1156. This is the length of the entire table, and this is the start date. Similarly, end date you would understand, which is again this is the date and this is the time. What is the category? So let's do one thing. We are going to analyze each and everything in Excel. So let us go in the data tab here and put on filters. So this is the start date, this is the end date, this is the category. Category means what are types of the category. You can go to this drop down and you can see there are business and personal, two categories, and there are blank column also, like blank cell also here. There is some empty values here for the category purpose. Similarly, you can go to start date and you can analyze it. So you have all 2016 dates till December. However, there are some additional dates which you can see. You can see here that you have 2016, then you have Jan, Feb, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. But you can see after this also there are dates from January, March, all these things, dates are there with a different format, because you can see you have this format here where is 01-01-02016. Okay, so this is the actual format 01-01- howsoever you want to read it. But when you go after 12th, this is the 12th, this is, and this format is, what is this format about? This format is month, day and year. It is not day, month and year. So you have 12 Jan, which is day, month, sorry, month, day. This is 01 is the month, 12 is the day. So after 12 we can see the format is entirely changed. You have slashes, 1/13/2016. So the format is changed. The format is changed till 30th or the last day of the month, and then again you have second month starting, and this also continues till 12th. From 13th the format is changing. So we have to take this into consideration as well. We do we have any blank value here if you want to check? So you can also use is blank function. So here we don't have any missing values. Similarly, we can check here as well, and this also follows the same pattern. You have a you have a month, and the starting 12 days of the month are in some different format, and from 13 to the last day of the month is in the some different format. These dates are in a very different format, and here also in the end date you don't have any blank, you have some blanks in the end date here. You can see there are some blanks. You can also use is blank function like this. So you can actually go and insert a table here. You can actually use is blank function if you want to check. So this is the value. So if a value is, if the cell is blank, so it will throw true. So it's a boolean kind of a value. So once you do this, once you like drag it for the entire data set, so you have to drag it to the entire data set, and all the values will pop up, and then you can actually check which are the blanks value from here as well. Like you can actually go and you can see false and blanks. Let's check blanks. So this is only one blank. Why I have why it is one blank only? So if you can, because this figure is blank, and here if I see which has the blank value here, let's deselect every selection here, and if you go down and select the blanks, you just have a total. So actually this is about the data set. Why you are getting the blank space in the end date is because you have an additional column in the additional cell in the bottommost point where you have this blank. So this is totally okay, because why it is totally okay? Because you have filled up cell here, but here you don't have a filled up cell, here you don't have a filled up cell, here you don't have a filled up cell. So by automatically every blank will actually show. In every column a blank space will show wherever that last cell is not filled up. By the way, I'll just want to delete this up, because you can check the blanks from the drop down from here also, and it's an option if you want to use is blank function or not. Similarly, you have business, personal and blank. So again, if you want to select the blanks and you can check, so again you have the same thing, like the last one is the only the blank arrow, the blank cell. So it's okay, but okay, you can actually go on and you can check all the blanks if some cells will have a blank value or not. So this you have the option to do that. So after this also, this is additional column which is called start point and stop point. So you have a start date and an end date, and similarly you have a start location and a end location. So these are our very important point, guys. So whenever a Uber driver starts a trip, so that date and time along with the start position and the stop position is also recorded in the system. Similarly, these are the miles. How many miles did the Uber driver commuted, or how many what distance the Uber drive went for this trip, and what are the purposes. So you can see there are various kind of purposes here, like you have a airport travel, between offices, charity, commute, customer visit, errand or supply, meal, entertainment, meeting, etc. So you have different kind of a purpose here. Now if you have given this data set, which is like how many features are there, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, there are 7 columns or 7 features, and you have 1 1 5 6 rows. And if you suppose have been given these questions, how would you answer it? So these questions, I just like to zoom it here. So if somebody asks you, get the unique start and stop location, get the total number of unique start and stop locations, what are the most famous start and drop location, the most frequent route taken, the highest route speed, would you be able to answer it just by looking at Excel? the data set? It will be really difficult for you. It will be somewhat time taking. Yes, you can get this, but see, speed you cannot get directly. Most frequent route taken, how would you get? Like, you cannot analyze 1000 or 2000 rows to see which values are more frequently occurring. Which are the most famous start and drop locations? Means, what is the start, what are the frequently traveled start and stop locations? How would you get that? So for that, you need to, you know, transform your data in such a way that all these things can become very easier for you. So for that, let us go ahead and start transforming our data, cleaning our data so as to understand different kinds of aspects from these points. First of all, we found out a question about speed. So if we want to get a speed of a Uber driver, maybe speeds are very much necessary to understand that if the driver was uh, driving at a safe speed or not, whether the driver was over speeding the vehicle. All these things are also very important for a for any cab company per se. So for that, how you will have to get the speed? So for getting the speed, you need to get the time. So how would get a time? So for this, what we can do, we can insert a column here, and suppose what I do, this is a date time thing. So if I use a int function which is taking out an integer portion from this value, what it will have? So I have taken out the integer portion. So Excel automatically determines the date as an integer, while it does not recognize time as an integer. So I have extracted from the int function the date part. But I don't want date actually, I need time, because I need a time, then time difference to calculate the speed. So what I can do, I can simply use this formula. This is, you can say this is a2 integer. So what, this is integer, and if I subtract, so this is the integer, and if I subtract this entire a2, suppose I subtract this entire cell a2 minus the integer part of a2 minus integer part of a2, what I will get? I will get the time. And if I format this time, suppose if I format this time, I will get the actual time. What is 20, 21:11 and 0 seconds, which is 9:11. And suppose if I drag this, I am getting all the times here. So you can say this is a start time. This column is start time, and this is a column which you have made. This was not previously, it was embedded. You have made it. So if you can just drag it all down, so you can get the values. But wait a second, it is giving me the values till the till the 12th day of the month. But once the 13th day starts, it starts throwing the error. So you must be thinking why the error is being thrown. So there are various kinds of problems why the error is being thrown. If you want to check, you can check the error in value. You can select this, help on this error, show calculation steps and all this. So you can actually click on this and you can see what help it can provide, why it is throwing an error. So I think it's loading up. Some connection issues might be there, but overall I'll tell you few things. Once you go to this once you analyze this help, and if you can Google it and all, so you can find few things that this is often happening because this is a text. My Excel is not recognizing it as a date time attribute. Rather than that, it is recognizing it as a text. That is why this thing is not happening. So how to get rid of this? If you see this, it is int number, so it is not actually taking out. If I remove all the formula and suppose I try to take integer value of this cell, so here also the value is again popping up. I would recommend you to check on this error also. It will not give you the direct error, but obviously it will give you various kind of options like why it is happening, why it is not happening, and all this thing. So this is a major problem which we are facing here, that the time is not actually date and time format is not actually giving you the proper result. So if you check about the error help to correct the error value error, so you will have various kind of options here and various kind of suggestions. So you can go and you can actually try and read all these things so that you will have certain idea why this error is occurring, value error. But overall I can say you in this case it is happening because Excel is actually recognizing all these date times as actually a date time, but it is not recognizing this as a date time. It is actually recognizing this as an text. And also one very important way, you must know that whenever there is a number, Excel actually aligns it to the right hand side of a cell, while if it's a text, it will align it to the left side of the cell. So you can see it is aligned in a left hand side. Suppose I delete this, one second, if I delete this suppose, and I write 7 here, so one second, so it is actually in a date time format. But if you can see, if this is a cell and I'm writing a number like 8, so it will be rightly aligned, it will be aligned directly to the right. But if I write A and if I move away, it will be aligned to the left hand side. So in this case I can see that the text is aligned to the left. Here there is a gap, if you notice. So this is a text. So how shall we actually correct this error? So there is one important way how you can do it. You just copy this entire date and time here with the textual format. You can do it till it is the pattern is there, which is up till 30th. And what you can do is you can copy and paste it here in the start time. And what you can do now, you can just select the entire textual values and you can go to data and you can go to text to columns. When you do this text to column thing, what will happen? This will actually convert your textual value to date time. So this wizard will open up and it will ask you that original data type, what you want to convert, whether you want to convert the character, all the characters in this into date and time, or you want to convert in something into a fixed width. So I will consider it as a fixed width because I want to separate this date and time as well. So once I do that, I will get this marker which will actually split the date and time in this way. Once you do that, once you press next, and this is the format. So remember guys, actually it has been put in such a way that the first value identifies to the month The second value identifies to the date, but Excel will mostly read it into date, month, time format. So you have to change this to month, date and year. Means you want it month to come first. So in this case, the Excel is recognizing 13th as a month. It will push it to first, which is 13 01 2016. So once I do that and select finish here, you will get this. You see, this date and this time is actually uh, like splitted, but I did a mistake where I should have done it here itself. So I can just press Ctrl Z, and what I can do, I can simply select this value here itself. I should not be copying it. Go to text to columns, fixed width, next, and okay, I'll need to go back because it is not showing the, so this has to be a fixed width. One second, just have to select it. Till 29th, not 29th. You have to select it till first. Okay, I selected it much more. You have to select just 17 values till 30th. So just have to make sure how you have to do the proper selection and all. See, again it is a problem. So guys, one thing you should remember, that data cleaning part is the most vital and most important part in a analysis, and it takes time. It really takes time. You have to understand that. I'll have to do text to column here, fixed width. Yes, this is the fixed width. Then next, then I'll have to select the date into month, day and year value and simply do this. Now it is like properly the time has been extracted out of this date, and now it is aligned to the right hand side, meaning now it is considering as a date and time. Similarly, the same thing you can do here also. You can write here as the end time, and you can select the same formula here and you can actually drag it. And again you will find this value problem here. So what again you have to do, you just have to select this till 30th, go to text to columns, select your fixed width, press next. You will have a marker which will split your date and time. Once you put next, you just have to change the format of DMY to MDY and you have to select finish, and you have to just press OK. Again your time will be extracted. These time will be extracted out of it. Now similarly you have to go to, if now this is extracted properly, and after this you have to do the same thing for this place, which is second month, third month. After doing all this to the entire data set, I am not doing it in the video, but you have to do it manually. In this case you have to select those values and you have to convert it into text to columns. And when you complete with all this activity, I have already made a Excel sheet this in which I have already done all this analysis, all this part. So I have done a start date, or I can say you can write this is a start date and start time. So I have actually copied the date and time, and I have actually made this is a start date and this is a start time. Similarly, I have done for end date and end time. This is how you have to make it. Once you do that, you have to convert, you have to do a time difference, because you have an end time and a start time. So what is the time difference? So once you what formula I have used here, so you can see that first of all you have to subtract this time, end time, with the start time. And once you do that, you have to multiply it by 24 and 60. So if you see how what formula I have used here, I have subtracted f2 from c2, which is the end time from a start time, and I multiplied with 24, which is a 24 hour, and 60 minutes. So my time will actually come in a format of minute. So this is the minute. So you can see here what is the difference between end time of 9:17 p.m. from 9:11 p.m. that it is nearly 6 minutes. So I got the 6-minute time here. And now what I did, I actually divided this by 60 to get number of hours. When I got numbers of hours here, what I will simply divide this miles divided by hour, so that I get the speed. The speed is 51 miles per hour. So we have found out time by the differencing of start and end time, converted into minutes and then converted into hours. However, this is one of the way for you to extract the time difference between start time and end time. However, there are problems in this. This method can be useful only when you are extracting the time difference in a 24-hour day. But suppose a day changes. So there are instances when the day changes. Then what should you do? There is a problem. So if you see the time, and if I click on this drop down here, so you can see various negative values which are here, various kind of negative values. And if you will select all these negative values, so let me select these 4 values, negative values. However, you can see there are various values which are negative in nature, and later on you have positive values. So just to showcase you, I have extracted 4 negative values here, and you can see what is the problem in this, why the time difference is coming to be negative. And I have converted this to general because I wanted a number, I wanted a minute, so I converted it into a general format. So you can see when the start date is 5, if I highlight, I can highlight and show you. So this is the start date, which is 5th of 5 month to 2016, 5th of May 2016, and the start time is 23:55, means 11:55 p.m. The end date is 6th of May 2016, and the end time is 12:08 a.m. So in this case, the date is changing 5 to 6. Similarly, in the second case, you can see this is from 5 to 6 again. Then you can see 10, 11. So start date is 10th, end date is 11. Start date is 1st of July. For the end date is 2nd of July. So this is the problematic thing, because you cannot actually get the time difference or the difference between 2 times when the date is changing like this. So for that you have to alter the formula in such a way that you should not get these errors. So I want to also explain you about this. So let us take all the values now. So you have this end time, start time, and this is the negative times. So I'll just take all the values. Now in order to resolve this anomaly, the best practice is you should convert your date time from 24-hour clock to 12-hour clock. So how you can do is just select this, Control Shift and down arrow, and what you do, go to formatting, time, and take more time numbers and take this time 01 30 55 p.m. So it will be in the AM PM order. So once I do that, you can see it is all 9:11 p.m. 1:25 a.m. So this is the best practice which I am showing you, in which you have to convert a 24-hour clock in 12-hour clock. And when you see that, it is all in AM and PM format, the entire time. So this is my start time. This is my end time here. And I will again do the same thing. I will select all the rows, 1156 rows, and I will convert it into AM PM format. This is done. So my start time and end time is done. Now what I need to do is, I will take this time difference. I can write it as a time difference here. Time difference. So I am highlighting all those columns which I have made. This is the start time, this is the end time, this is the time difference. And what I will use here, I will use here a if statement. And as I will be writing the writing in the if statement, I will be telling you why I am writing all those things. So first I will delete this, and what I will do, I will start a if statement here. If and let me open up the argument window. So what is a logical test? So I want to say that if my end time is greater than the start time is C2, then what we have to do is, we have to find the difference between F2 minus C2. And if my F2 is less than C2, when this will happen, F2 when will be less than C2? When the day is changing. When the day will be changing. So in this case, what we have to do is F2 minus C2, and you have to add +1 here, so that you would be able to know that this is the time the day is changing. You just have to do that, and I'll press OK. So this is the difference which you are getting in a general series. What I will do, I will select time difference. I will select this time. So what I am getting 6 minutes here. So what it shows that, let me zoom out a little bit. So the start time is 9:11 p.m. The end time is 9:17 p.m. The time difference is 6 minutes. You just have to drag this all till 1156 rows. Once you do that, the time difference has come up. All the time difference. This is 6 minutes, this is 12 minutes, this is 13 minutes. And now when you look at the time difference, it is all proper now. All proper. There will be no negative values. And now I have to extract the minutes from the time. How will I have to do that? I'll just delete this. I'll just delete this, and what I will do, I will select first hour. I'll use the hour function and I will select this cell H2. I want to extract hour from this, multiplied by 60. Then I want to add this with the number of minutes. So I have selected minute function here, and what a minute function will do, it will extract the minute from here. I have done this and I will divide it all by 60, because what I have done is I have extracted hour multiplied by 60 so that the hour will get converted into minutes, and the minutes I have kept it the original form, in an original form. So hours has been converted into minute and minute is as it is. So it will be total minutes, and if I divide by 60, I'll get the total number of hours. And this I have to convert it into or format it to a general form so that I can get the hour. And I have to just drag it out so that the hours will pop up like normally. So I'll just drag it till entire 1176. And now my original hours are here, and you will not find a single negative value. You'll find 0, yes, but there is no negative values, showcasing that the time difference is properly done. This is hour difference or number of hours. I can say hour difference. So this is how, this is time difference, this is hour difference. And you can see the speeds now. Speed is also calculated accordingly, and speed is also like is same. There is no negative values, but yes, there is some like anomalies here, like this hashtag division divided by 0. Now we have to see why this anomaly is coming up. So for that, let me select the drop down from here, this error thing, and this is speed is not being calculated. Let me see why it is not being calculated. So I can see there is an error while inputting a data, because if you see the start time is 5:49 p.m., the end time is 5:49 p.m. So it is saying that the vehicle like instantaneously started and stopped. So there is no time difference. Thus these are the error. These rows, these 4 rows are actually showcasing that there is certain error while imputing the values. So you cannot, either you can actually try out and write some time difference of your own, but I don't think so that it will be helpful in this case. So what we can do, we can rather go ahead and delete all this. We can delete all this because we don't want such kind of errors to pop up in our actual analysis. And these are only 4 rows out of 1156. So that is like hardly even lesser than 1%, you can say. So you can actually go and remove this, because you don't want to have your all the different kind of error values. One second, I'll just select it from speed, right? So I'll just select it all again, and then it is okay. Now there is another anomaly which if you'll analyze speed, you will find that there are various speeds which are greater than 100. So you can see that 104, 119, 160, and you know that this is not possible for a vehicle to have this speed. This is not a Ferrari. So for that, let us analyze why this is happening. So we can go ahead and take the largest speed, which is 906, 664, 550. Well, let's take top three highest speeds. And let's see what is the problem here. So when you have a start date as 4th, end date is again 4th, the time is 1 minute. You see the time. So these are the anomalies. So if you see that this is it is starting at 11:17 p.m. and it is ending at 12:17 p.m. and it is ending at 12:18 p.m. Okay. So it is saying that the vehicle ran for only 1 minute, and what is the miles covered by the vehicle is 15 miles. So 15.1 miles covered in 1 minute. That is why the speed is this large. So here also there is a problem while imputing the figures. The problem while imputing the figures is the time, the start time and the end time. So here also you can see the vehicle started at 6:37 p.m. and it ran for only 2 minutes. Similarly, here the vehicle started at 11:56 am and it ran only for 2 minutes. The end time was 11:59 am. So guys, this can happen. There can be no error or incorrect imputation in the data set. So we have to be aware whether we have to take this into our analysis or not. Let me select all the values. So there are various options in order for you to actually understand this. So generally what we can do, because we know that no vehicle will be going above say 150 kmph, like, and this is the average speed. So average speed will be obviously lesser than 100. There will be no chance that it will be Uber will be going above 100 miles per hour kind of speed. But just to take into consideration, we can keep some of the values and reject some of the values. So let me keep the values till 160 miles per hour. So apart from directly removing the speeds above 160 miles per hour, you can also, it's your choice, you can also do check for the outliers. So I have written down some formulas for outliers here. So as you know, outliers, the formula for upper lower limit is q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR. So what is IQR? IQR is interquartile range, which is q1 minus q3, or you can say q3 minus q1. This is q3 minus q1. So this is q3 minus q1. So this is the interquartile range. And how did I find quartile 1? I simply used a quartile function. So if you see this, I have used quartile here. Range of M2 to M500. This is just an example. You have to take it for the entire column or entire rows. So what is my entire row here? So you can take like this. You can simply use this and you can drag up to the entire row. Remember, we had deleted a few rows. Because it was wrongly imputed and there was no time there. So now the rows have been reduced to 1152. Just do that and 1152 and 1. So just put enter. So you see here, this is 14, quartile 1, and 1 says that this is quartile 1. Okay, now this is quartile 3. So 3 says quartile 3, and here I have to just change 1152. So once I do that, this quartile value will change. IQR or interquartile range will be 13. And what is the lower limit? Lower limit will be, as you can see, this is the lower limit. Lower limit will be Q1 minus 1.5 times the IQR value and similarly what is q upper limit will be q3 plus 1.5 times 1.5 times the IQR, and you can validate this with the formula also. So this formula says R5 minus 1.5 times this R8, and similarly you can see this R6 plus 1.5 times the R8. So it shows that the lower limit can be minus 5 and upper limit can be this 48, but we know that this is not feasible because minus speed cannot be possible. But yes, maximum speed or average speed of 48 is okay. So you can either try to keep this 48 or 50, or you can try to remove all those values which are above 100. So it is upon your choice what you can do. Or you can if you have a subject matter expert from Uber, then it will be fine. But what I will do, I will remove any values which are above 200 kmph, like this. 210 also let us remove, 176 also let us remove, 174 let us remove. So I want to remove all these value. The reason is simple, because the time and the distance does not actually give you the entire picture. You can try to keep the rows also. You can try to keep the rows if you don't have any problem with the speed and all. You just want to analyze the distance between the points and all, then you can try to keep the rows. But I want to keep the holistic view. I don't want to take any unnecessary error value, so that it will give my management the impression that I have not actually worked with the actual values here. So once I do that, I'll select all the values now, and this is it. So this is the value I have taken now. Now I want to analyze my questions. Now my data cleaning, data transformation, everything is done. My data set is entirely completed. Now I will analyze various kind of questions. So for that, let me make a pivot table from the scratch. So what I will do, I'll just select this. I'll select one second. I'll select my entire data set. I'll start from start date here. This is 1.1142, so I have deleted nearly 12 rows, and that is fine. That is not an issue. 12 or 14 rows I have deleted, and that is okay. So once I select this, I'll go to insert and go to pivot table here. So I'll use the pivot table in the new sheet. When I do that, you can actually start to analyze this. So the first question was, as I said, the unique start and stop point. Unique start and stop point. And second question was how many of them are there, and this is one, and you have to also know their counts. Their counts. So how to get that? Very simple. Just select the pivot table, go to the start, keep the start to rows. This. So this is my start points, unique number of start points. And what are my stop points? You can also know, as and when you can also keep the stop point. So you can actually count this, how many of them are there actually. So you can see the total number is 177. I can say when I just take the count of this, or you can say you can directly take the count from here. You can keep a count. I'll just take count A here. and I will just add the entire, like select the entire start and stop position. So I do that, I get 177 unique start. Now let us try and get number of unique stops. So let us go and put the stop to rows again, and again I will do the same thing. Count of once I do that, I can see that the count number of unique count is 188 and this is 177. A4 to A191. So this is 1 second. This is total. This is 191. So the unique start is 177 and unique stop is 188. You have answered your first two questions. And see how cumbersome it would have been if you would have directly seen from Excel and analyzed it. So this is unique start, and this is unique stop. Now let us analyze one another question. This was our this is the answer of our first question, unique start and stop. This is the answer to our question number 1. This is the unique start and stop. Now the answer to my, this is 1 and 2. So let us understand our second question, that famous start and stop location. Famous start and stop location, or I can say frequency, highest frequency, which was the combination of start and stop location which has the highest frequency of travel, or I can say not frequency, highest mileage, because if somebody has traveled between two places a lot of time, so the miles will increase. So for that, let us do one thing. Let us put start to rows and stop to rows and miles to values. When I do that, I can see that various kind of start and stop position. This is the start position, these are the stop positions. So from Agnew, the vehicle went to 3 stop positions, and the sum of miles are all these things, all these values, sum of miles. So what is the most famous? So you can use your conditional formatting also to actually find out which has the highest distance or highest mileage between two locations. So there are a lot of values, so I would like to select this entire thing, and go to conditional formatting, and I want to highlight as per top 10 items. Let me increase it to top 20 so that I can actually understand. So I have highlighted all these values. So the first is white. So you have to actually you have to neglect the total ones. This is the bold ones you have to neglect, because you want to understand the highest miles between start and stop position. So you can see here what this indicates. From Ash Valley to Mebane, 195.9 miles have been traveled, which is like good. But what is the maximum miles which has been traveled? So here also you can see from Cary to Durham, 390 miles have been traveled. This is also okay. So we want to actually find out which has the maximum miles between the cities. So when I go down and down, just I'm seeing the highlighted values. So this is Morse Valley to Cary. This is 395, the highest till now. Morse Valley to Cary, this is 395 miles, which has been traveled. Similarly, when I go still down, I can see unknown location has traveled the most, and unknown location to unknown location has been, the sum of miles is 1270. So actually this will be highest, but since the locations, both the locations are unknown, I would not like to take this. It's better that I will take the second best, because I can know the city, which was Morse Valley to this was 390 kilometer was that thing I can take. 1 second. This 365, 395. So Morse Valley to Cary is 395. So the answer to my second question will be Morse Valley to Cary. So my answer will become Morse Valley to Cary. This is my answer to my second question. That what is the famous start and stop location? It has been in the both Morse Valley to Cary. The distance has been traveled to 196 miles. So this is like most. But unknown to unknown, it is 1200, but I'm not taking that because you don't know what is the unknown to unknown location. This is one thing. Now let us analyze the third question, that speed traveled during errands. Speed traveled, and the speed traveled, I want to analyze speed traveled with the purpose, because mostly people want to know why the car was speeding so high. So I want to understand about the purpose, and then I want to understand about the speed, but I don't want the sum of speed, I want the average of speed. So what is the average? So I can go to the value field settings, and I can change it to average. So this is average of speed. So you can see what is the highest average speed for the purpose. So you can see the highest is commute, 58. So 58.44, highest speed is between commuting. So this is commute purpose has the highest average speed with 58 miles per hour. This was this. So this is the third question. Now you can also find out the fourth questions. Average speed with business or travel. So you can see this one category, average speed as per category. So you can find out average speed by category. So for that, again, what you have to do, you just have to put category into rows, and you can see average speed for business is more. So the answer for this is the average speed by category is more for business, and which is like 23 or 24 miles, 23.75, we can say around 24 miles per hour. So these are the four questions which we have like completed. There are many more kind of questions and analysis you can do. That for like what are the mileage for different kind of category, what is the sum of miles for different kind of purposes. So my plan was to tell you how you can get all these things, all the analysis done from the simple Uber Drive and Uber Drive dataset, and how the start and end time difference, hour difference, and speed you can calculate. So I hope you like this, and you can actually try and use all that pivot table. By your pivot table along with the conditional formatting gives you the best combination of the analysis. So I hope you can very much uh, confident will be confident after doing this, that how you can analyze this data set. So guys, that's it for this video. Feel free to comment us if you are if you found out some other insights from the data set also, and if you would find some different method to do particular things which I have done, you can actually comment us so that we will have a good feedback for this. And if you like this video, please go ahead and subscribe and share with different uh, students and different kind of people who can take useful information from this. So that's it guys, thank you.